Hey guys, it's me, my face. And why yes, I did get dressed up, just for you. Today's happy dance is brought to us by, it was a blizzard, but it wasn't quite so bad. And coffee. I apologize if you can hear the neighbors snow blowing the snow. That's what we do to it. That and glower at it unpleasantly. I can glower with the best of them. If you're new here, my name is Andrea. This is a channel about cross-stitching and drinking things and getting angry at the snow, shaking our fists at the clouds, things like that. If you're a returning visitor, you are well aware of all of that. Thanks for coming back anyway. I have been a busy bee the past couple of weeks, so let us just jump right in with the whips. The first thing I worked on is Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow. This is from Carriage House Samplings, and I made more progress than I thought I was gonna. I just sat down one night to work on, I think my goal was just to finish up, like just to do her hat. No, I'm sorry, I was over here. That's okay. I know what I did. Settle down. I worked on this witch. I did her hat. I did her little friend the bat. And I filled in a lot more of her side of the cauldron. And then I looked at the pattern and saw how much more there is to do in this block and said no thank you. It wasn't even that it was that much more to do in the block. There's so much black. There's a whole black cat. There's another, I think there's 3 spiders or like 2 bats and a spider. There's some combination of arachnoid and other things. All of them black. I am enjoying the sulky black, but I did not want to get into it any more than I already had with Mr. Bat up here, who did come out quite fetching. I continue to work on the cauldron, where I was absolutely convinced that there is an issue and there was something I needed to work around. I still can't find it. So far, I stitched with the pattern seems to be matching. I don't know what I did wrong. But we'll see when it all shakes out. Again, still trying to get over to this next block. No idea why. It's going to be full coverage. It's going to be a lot of blue. Maybe that's what I'm looking forward to. I never stitch in blue. Like ever. Like looking around. Nope, I lied. But still, I think I'm looking for a change on this one. Speaking of stitching in blues, the next thing that I worked on is Moon Hare. This is from HAED, and I have stitched in blues and purples. Although most recently what I worked on is all over here, all this light blue area that you see. I will hold up and hope that you can see it. If you can't see it, I will put in a still image. But yeah, that was, I know that Pattern Keeper keeps track of how many stitches I put in. I never look. I never think to look. Never occurs to me until 3 days later and you open it up and I don't know what I've done. But that seems to me like a significant amount of progress for a day, because I only stitched on it once. I could not stitch on this at all without Pattern Keeper. I will say that every single time we talk about this piece. There is no other way, in my opinion, to do a HAED. Here's the thing. Remember when I started this and my fabric had grid lines? You see in grid lines? Do you see grid lines? Here, let me get right up here. I can very faintly on the back see some grid lines and maybe a little bit on the front. Where'd my grid lines go? I thought they were supposed to wash out. Not just say, you've taken too long to work on your HAED. I'm going to go now. I have this hanging on the back of a door, and I'm wondering if, because it's sort of adjacent to a window, if maybe we've got some fade from sunlight, because maybe that's why the back is slightly better, only very slightly. So maybe once I, move the scroll at some point, if I'm ever down at the bottom here, we'll see more lines. But yeah, I don't know where my grid went. Not the worst thing to happen, because I honestly was not very good at figuring out the grid. Don't make that face at me. I could not remember half the time if I started the grid, if I started the block on the grid or just after the grid. Like if the grid line was the first stitch or the last stitch in the, you know what I'm talking about. Don't act like you don't. Anyway, my grid lines are gone. The next thing I worked on is Heaven and Nature Sing. This is from Kathy Barrick. And again, I put some good, solid time into this. I'm also not sure about my lighting today. I'm using natural light because I have a window that I've never had before. Story on that later. But also, I can't plug in my ring light. Story on that later. So hopefully you are seeing this well enough. But what did I do? I finished the words and these two other birds, and I filled in a couple more trees, and I started his head. Her head, their head. I started their head. I continue to be daunted by the size of this beast. I will feel better when maybe more of the bulk of that body is taken care of. I'm also starting to second guess the color I used for it, which is really a little too late for that. I chose cocoa. And while it looks fine, I think part of what I liked about this pattern in the first place is that the deer is big and dark. So maybe this isn't dark enough. I don't know. I mean, I'm not picking it out. I'm not changing it now. But maybe if you're thinking of doing this and you're swapping out colors or something, stick with the dark. You may be happier with it. Did I mention this is 40 count mallow and you should stitch everything on it? Thank you. Thank you. The next thing I worked on is the Pickety Witch. This is from Little Stitcher, and I think compared to what I showed you last time, I made a bit of progress. This is, I know I put up this is gifted 40 count, and I just had the information up. Not that I could see it, but you saw it. Anyway, this is like butter. It's like butter, and stitching silk on this is criminal. It is just criminal how nice this stitches. So the black in her dress and the kind of, well, it's more like a charcoal, is Silks for You silk. And yes, that's all I can say is yes. This was charted with the year 1799. I have not looked up why, and I think I am just going to change it to 2022, make my life a little easier, rather than figure out. I have a very tough time figuring out how to sign my pieces, and I'm not good at it. So if the date is in the piece, one less thing for me to think about. If I really put my mind to it, I would rechart this whole thing in here, just have my initials and the year. And Andrea, why don't you just do that? All right, we'll see for next time what I decide. The last whip that I worked on is the Alphabet and Hare freebie. This is from La Di Da. And let's see, I just added a few more letters because it's an alphabet and that's what you do. I think I added M, R, S, and I started the Q over here. Working on the mystery linen. I feel like this is one of those things that when I started, these looked ridiculously out of shape. And now that I have continued working, I've either just gotten used to it or more accepting of the issue, or I don't know, maybe the more I work on things, the more it kind of straightens itself out. But I feel like those letters look better than they did when I started. I'm not going to argue. Hey, look, more blue. Apparently I've been trying to get more blue floss into my life and didn't realize that I had been successful. Yeah, that sounds like me. As I'm sitting here and I can see Seedy Pumpkin Cottage from here, which I did not work on, but is on Nocturne, which is blue. I don't know what I'm talking about. Drink some coffee, we'll all feel better. Ah yes, clarity in a cup. I worked on so many whips, I couldn't possibly have had time to start anything new, right? No, I started new things. 3 of them. The first thing that I started is called Who's Watching, and that's HOOS Watching, and this is from Handblessings. I found this in, it says over here, one of the cross stitch magazines, and it was in an attempt to use up that 14 count black Ada that is just haunting me. So I got a little start of one little guy. I'm not entirely sure if that's supposed to be an owl or a demon or an imp. I don't know, but I had this Mo's Sale cotton in what I am just terming wackadoodle orange. It says MP4 on it, but I have 5 other colors that also have MP4 on them, so I don't think that's the color. So it's just a big crazy orange, and it seems to be working just fine. And actually the stitches are laying really nicely, and on the skein it does not look variegated at all. Stitching with it, it has a nice subtle variegation. So overall, so far, I'm happy. I think this is going to end up being a hoop finish, and it will be adorable. I was having trouble picking some starts because I kept saying to myself, no, I don't want another Christmas start. No, I don't want another Halloween start. I need something else. I need something else. And then I finally sat myself down and said, why? You love Halloween. Why would you not want another Halloween piece? This is fine. Just do it, Andrea. Just do it. It's fine. It's fine to have 30 new starts that are all Halloween. Nobody can tell me otherwise. And to prove it, I started the Primitve Hare's, the Witch's Kitchen. This was a Halloween freebie, I want to say 2011. I wasn't even born yet. But nonetheless, I gave it a really good start. I actually, as of last night, only had the word witches done. And I sat down because I was trying to be proactive, and I took pictures, my before pictures of all my things that I worked on and all that. And I think I did this with the or Who's There, or the Prairie Schooler from like 2 weeks ago, where I said, there's no way I can show people 7 stitches in something. I need to work on this more. So I did that with this. And as you can see, I painstakingly ironed it before I showed it to anybody. It looks nice and flat in the hoop, and that's what matters. That's what matters, people. I was second guessing the use of, first of all, this black is Anchor Black, and Anchor Black was a gift from somebody, damned if I could find who sent me the Anchor Black, but whoever did, thank you, because this stuff is wonderful, especially 1/1. Look how inky and nice it looks. The called for color on this is I want to say it's either weeks or gassed autumn leaves, which I did not have. And I had some other autumn leaf type thingies, but I went with amber. I want to say it's Weeks Dye Works. And I think I made a decent choice. I think that's going to look cute. And I want to hang this in my kitchen because I don't have any stuff hanging around the rest of the house. And so I thought this would be nice for the kitchen. It can actually hang near the cross stitch that Janet gave me for housewarming, I think, years ago. And they don't look anything alike. They really don't, but they would look kind of cute together on a wall. I think that's a thing. I think that's a thing I'm gonna do. My last new start is my cutest new start. This is Blue Snowman from the Little Stitcher. Can you tell I'm in a Little Stitcher kind of groove? Look how little he is. Look how little the Blue Snowman is. Oh my god. He's so cute. He's not done yet. I'm using, I believe, all the called for except the actual blue. I am using Really Tealy. And I just think he is the cutest little guy. Again, mystery linen never seems to be straight, never is even in any sort of way, and yet once you get stitching on it, it seems to rise to the occasion. I have no idea what I will do with this little guy. He'll be another one for the journal, and I can see my pile of finishes from here. They're glowering at me as though I was snow. Andrea, surely that's all the stitching you did. No, it is not. No, it is not, because I have a finish. I have a finish. New York Dreamer, White Christmas. I finished it, and I love it. Look at it. Look at it. It is on white Aida. Who am I with white Aida? But look at how the ecru looks so nice. Look how cute that reindeer is, the little scarf, the gifts. I love the color palette. It is not, chilly blues and greens. It's not Christmassy red and green. Those natural colors I love. The deer, for the most part, was done in galvanized. And the ecru color is actually Ginger Snap. And I want to say that's Classic Colorworks. I will correct myself if necessary. But this I really like. I don't know how I want to finish this. I will have options. We'll discuss that in a few minutes. But I know I want him displayed because I really, really do like this. So now that is all the stitching I did in the past 2 weeks, which I think is pretty good. It ain't bad. I got only a very little bit of haul. Just got my threads of the month. Okay, guys, I found this. And I think I had it the last time I recorded because this is the December Club from Fat Quarter Shop. This is my Floss Frenzy, and it's the December Club. And they're greens. So this is the forest greens, but I don't remember showing anybody this. And full disclosure, I broke into this for something that I'm kitting up, or did kit up. I don't show you the stuff. I kit up like 2 or 3 things a week sometimes, but I don't really show them because I could change my mind. But I broke into this blue spruce because I needed Oscar. I don't have Oscar, and there's no Oscar in here. So I used blue spruce. And we have dried sage, Scuppernong, Hunter, Broom Tree, and Butterbean. I also received what I believe is going to be my last Classic Colorworks nest egg from Trisha at 3 Owl Threads. I am moving over to Gast because I believe I've gone through the alphabet on these, and if there's any I'm missing, I now have an L and S. I haven't been there yet. I know, but I have one, so there is potential that I could go and fill in the gaps without having to, place 27 orders across the internet and triple my order size just to justify the shipping. I've never done that. Anyway, what I did is I emailed Trisha and I said, I'd like to move from Classic Colorworks to Gast, but I want to make sure you have room for me. Do you need me to fill out the form again? I'm happy to do so. She responded with like she was sitting there waiting for me to ask her questions. And she's like, you need to do nothing. I have taken care of you. And I trust Trisha. So she is exceptional. If you can get in onto her nest egg program, I highly recommend it. But so for my last shipment, I got Straw Hat, Strawberry Parfait, Snips and Snails, Spinach. You can never have too much of this color. Spinach is great. Stepping Stones as well. I find myself using that a lot. Sugar and Spice, not as much. Secondhand Rose, Stormy Night, Shamrock, which I swear to you is blue, whatever, and Spun Sugar. Again, not so much. So I'm hoping, I'm not hoping, I know next month I should end up with a Gast shipment and I can start a new spreadsheet of all the ones that I have. Yeah, I have a spreadsheet. Do you want to talk about it? I didn't think so. How the hell else am I going to know what I have? I have floss monsters everywhere. Telling you. So the only other haul is stuff that hasn't arrived yet. I am getting a second table for my office here that I can put my sewing machine on and a cutting mat, and I will have space to cut fabric and use my glue gun and sew things and make things, and I'm so excited. You have no idea, guys. You have no idea. The creative juices, don't get grossed out, the creative juices have been leaking out of my face. I need to do something with the thoughts in my head. I need to make them flesh. That got weird. The table should be delivered on Tuesday. I spent all day yesterday, my snow day, because we had a blizzard yesterday. I didn't lead with that because it's the weather. We were lucky where we are. We only got about, I think really all told, we got a couple of feet, but it was pretty fluffy. I'm told. I don't go out there. Today is a clear sunny day. So Mark has been out there shoveling and it hasn't been like horrendous for him. We didn't lose power. We didn't have any issues really other than just having to dig out. So we were lucky, but that's what I spent my snow day doing, was clearing out this area. Got rid of a shelving unit. It's a Billy bookcase, if you gotta know. So I moved that out into a hallway, and now I have a space for my incoming haul. I can't wait to show it to you. I can't wait to show you all the things I'm going to make. I'm going to make so many things. Hold me to that. Somebody hold me to that. Must we snow blow all the time now? There's nothing I can do about it. So yeah. Every once in a while, just drop in on me and be like, so, what'd you sew this week? I need to sew things. I need project bags, but not project bags. My projects are either on like 11 by 17 Q-snaps, which I don't want to put in a big bag, or they're on scroll rods, which just don't go in a bag, or they're like these little guys that I don't even tend to keep in a hoop anymore. But where most of my patterns are digital, I really don't have a use for like your standard project bags, zippery dealies that, I love them, but I don't really have a use for them. But what I could see myself using is like the book sleeve style ones, like Michelle has been telling us for so long are perfect for small, patterns and projects and things. Why wouldn't I use something that size for just the project and the floss? And then I won't have these, because what I'm doing now a lot of times is I have these little clippy deals. So I clip the little project and the threads together and I hang them, either on my spinner rack or on the hooks on the doors and things like that, or they just end up mashed up somewhere like this. That's not ideal. That's not how you treat nice things. So maybe my first project will be making a couple of little kind of book sleeve style bags and see if I can keep my whips straight that way. Who knows what they'll look like when I'm done, but as long as they're functional for me, we'll be fine. We have a giveaway. This was generously sent to me by Metro Stitcher, and it's really cute. It's just not something I'm going to get to stitch. This is part of the Farmhouse Christmas series. This is Horsin Around from Little House Needleworks. And look how cute it is. Look at the little plaid blanket and the chicken and the bird. I like this. It is wintry without being kind of overtly Christmas. So I think that makes it a little more accessible and interesting to more people. If you would like a chance to have this sent out to you, I need you to go to the description box and there will be a link there for a Google form. You only need to fill out certain parts of the form. It's just your name, your email address, and the name you use on YouTube. It's the name that shows up when you make comments and things like that. It gives you the ability to give me your address at that time. You don't have to. You can wait. If you win and I don't have your address, I'll just ask you for it. If I do have it, I'll just send it out. I'm going to put in the usual rules and disclaimers here. I will probably draw the winner the day before, the Saturday before my next, video comes out. I keep saying there'll be a date here. Try to do it before then. I'm doing a little experiment with my thumbnails, my videos, my titles and things like that, because I've noticed I haven't always been worried about how many subscribers I have. It's great. In fact, I should point out that we got to 2,000 subscribers fairly recently. And I am really a little stunned at that. But I noticed that for 2,000 subscribers, I don't get very many views. And I used to get more views in relation to, like when I had fewer subscribers, I used to get more views. If that makes sense. Well, I think that's the point, is it doesn't make sense. So I think it's because I don't film as often and I don't post as often as I used to, that it's not getting out in front of people. So I've been watching some videos on how to better, keyword and make better thumbnails and better titles that make more sense. And one thing I'm noticing about some other FLOSSTUBE videos is they're not afraid to say that they're having a giveaway. And I think that makes sense in a lot of ways. I know that we try to avoid just attracting any Yahoo that wants to try to win something. I don't think there's many Yahoos out there that are going to like waste their time trying to win this if they don't want to stitch it, kind of thing. You know, sure, could they win it and put it on eBay for what, $6? It's not worth it. So I'm not really afraid of, you know, outsiders coming in and kind of ruining our day. I know it may attract more people who will start to watch the video and just leave very quickly because they're not that interested, but it's kind of an experiment. So my thumbnail and my title are going to say the word giveaway. I know. Let's find out what happens. I see a lot of FLOSSTUBE videos, and like I'm noticing a lot of people seem to average between like say 1,000 and 2,000 views on their video. I'm averaging about 500, which I think is good. I mean, it's pretty impressive in my head, but then when I kind of compare myself, and I know you're not supposed to compare yourself, but this is what I'm doing, just stick with me. I feel like there could be more. I feel like I could be doing better. I feel like I need to reach more people. So I think that is about it for me this week. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for your likes and even your dislikes. I still see you. 2 seconds in and you're already disliking it. But I most appreciate your comments. Thank you so much for continuing to comment to me when I, you know, am so far behind in even responding or hearting comments back. I really do. I appreciate the interaction, and I appreciate you. Thank you for being my community. Bye, guys.